We all saw this moment a few weekends ago.
Liverpool winning the WSL in 2014, the last time someone outside of those three won a trophy, as Kerr comes through, and Kerr scores!
Sam Kerr is an amazingly exciting player, and anyone watching this moment surely had a reaction. For Chelsea fans, I'm sure this was a sigh of relief that Chelsea would remain in the driver's seat of the FAWSL. For Arsenal and Aston Villa fans, it must have felt the exact opposite. But for me, I had two reactions. First, Jill Scott, clear the ball anywhere else. Just like out of play, preferably. And then, oh, Sam Kerr. Is that her? Wait, did Sam Kerr just score? She did. She broke the curse. The Sam curse has ended. Part 1. The Curse. Back in October, I first noticed that, although Sam Kerr was top scorer, she hadn't scored a first goal for Chelsea. By first goal, I mean in none of the 5 games that Chelsea had played had Sam Kerr scored a goal to take Chelsea from having a score of 0 to a score of 1. In January, this still hadn't changed. Chelsea had played 6 more league games, and although Sam Kerr had scored 4 goals in those 6 games, none of those 4 goals had been Chelsea's opening goal. And this might not seem that important, but look at the rest of the top scorers. Viv had 5 first goals. Fran Kirby, Natasha Dowie, and Ella Toone all had 3 first goals. And Little, Hemp, and Stanway all on 2 first goals. This is where I really started jokingly referring to this as the curse. And it would take Sam Kerr another 4 matches to break this curse. In Chelsea's 15th league match of the season, Sam Kerr's stoppage time winner was the first time she scored Chelsea's opener in the league. Yet, she was still the league's top scorer, and I had to figure out why. Part 2. Football Reference Stats. Okay, so I noticed a cool, weird thing, but what do the numbers actually say? Statistically speaking, does Sam Kerr actually struggle to score the first goal in Chelsea's league matches? Or is this just some anomaly? To answer those bigger questions, let's ask a smaller question. How many chances to score Chelsea's first goal of a league match did Sam Kerr actually have? According to Football Reference, in the 15 league matches it took Sam Kerr to score a first goal, that being the one against Aston Villa, Sam Kerr took 22 shots that could have produced a first goal for Chelsea, and it was only that 22nd strike against Aston Villa that went in. Here's a table showing all 22 of those chances that Sam Kerr had to open the scoring for Chelsea this season in the league, with the green one being the winner against Aston Villa and the first one that actually went in. Okay, I guess we answered our question. 22! Sam Kerr needed 22 chances to open the scoring for Chelsea in the league this season. Or, another way of putting this is, when Chelsea had yet to score in a match, Sam Kerr went 1 for 22 in front of goal, a 0.045 goal-to-shot ratio. A 0.045 goal-to-shot ratio would put Sam Kerr in between Jess Sigsworth and Tamika Yallop. Just let that soak in. When Chelsea hadn't scored in a league game, according to Football Reference stats, Sam Kerr was less effective than Jess Sigsworth has been throughout the entire league campaign. And I could just end the video on this weird realization. But I think this table is actually lying. I don't think Football Reference is telling us the whole story. Part 3. Actually watching the damn games. Despite what the jock bully from every 80s movie might say, statistics are cool. But stats aren't a replacement for actually watching football. And those of you who do actually watch Sam Kerr play, you know there must be something else going on here. Football Reference says that Sam Kerr had to take 22 shots before scoring a, quote, first goal for Chelsea in the league. But within those 22 shots, not all 22 had a chance of going in. For example, look at this shot against Everton. Technically, Sam Kerr is trying to score here, but I wouldn't say that she ever actually had a chance to score this. She literally jumps head and shoulders above Megan Finnegan there, but the ball harmlessly skips off her head, and it never had a chance to go in. So to fix this, we could instead use a metric like shots on target to narrow down the chances that Sam Kerr had to these 11 highlighted chances. But in doing so, we'd be leaving out shots like this. And I think Sam Kerr would probably agree that this should have been a shot on target. So I decided to use the highly scientific method of just going through all 22 chances and making a judgment of whether I thought Sam Kerr had a reasonable chance of scoring. My methodology was, if Sam Kerr had 10 of the exact same chances, could she have at least scored one? And if you want to do the same, I'll put a link down below to a compilation of all 22 chances, and you can make your very own judgments. Here's how I've judged those 22 shots. I've highlighted the 18 chances that I genuinely think Sam Kerr could have scored from. Not should have, but could have. By removing the chances that I don't think have any possibility of going in, we're still left with 18 times where Sam Kerr could have reasonably opened the scoring for Chelsea in a league match. 1 in 18? That's still a low conversion rate. That would equate to a goals to shots ratio of 0.056. Taking out those 4 shots that had no chance only moves Sam Kerr up 1 spot in the goals to shots ranking, now putting her between Justine van Havermaet and Jess Sigsworth. Part 4. Sam Kerr is a very good footballer. This still probably doesn't seem right to you. And it doesn't seem right to me either. How could the top scorer in the WSL also be one of the worst finishers when Chelsea have yet to score? Is it nerves? Does Sam Kerr just enjoy giving Emma Hayes a heart attack? Do we dare use a term like flat track bully? Maybe a 4th rhetorical question. Okay, honestly, I don't think it's any of those things. Here's why. If you've noticed, I've only been talking about Sam Kerr's finishing in the WSL. And that's because this pattern only exists in the WSL. In the Champions League this season, Chelsea managed to score a goal in 4 of their 6 matches. Sam Kerr scored Chelsea's opener in half of those matches, including the only goal in the home fixture against Servette. In the League Cup, Sam Kerr only played 2 of Chelsea's 3 games. In the final, you might remember, Sam Kerr opened the scoring for Chelsea in the 34th minute. Oh, and the game where she didn't score the opener, that was the semi-final match against Man United. Sam Kerr only came on in the 68th minute for Jessie Fleming, and at that point, Chelsea were already winning 3-1. Also, the game after Sam Kerr got her first league opener against Aston Villa, Chelsea played Everton, and Sam Kerr did that. Wait, no, not that. Okay, hold on. Wait for it. That. She opened the scoring again. And even though it seems like Sam Kerr might have struggled to score first goals in the league this season, look at what she did last season. In just 19 league starts, Sam Kerr scored 10 first goals. Over half of the time, Sam Kerr was the one who opened the scoring in the league for Chelsea last season. Part 5. The Curse. Interesting, but ultimately meaningless. Back in October, when I first noticed what I would later call the curse, I looked back at last season and realized that however long the curse might last this season, it's an anomaly. Sam Kerr is a top goal scorer, and it would take an all around drop in form and goal scoring to convince me otherwise. Nevertheless, I was still quietly obsessed with this curse. Not because I thought it said anything about Sam Kerr's quality, but because it just shouldn't have happened. In the 21 chances Sam Kerr had to open the scoring before finally getting that one against Aston Villa, she never scored. At that moment before scoring against Aston Villa, Sam Kerr had taken 46 total shots in the league and had scored 10 of them, according to Football Reference. The chances of randomly picking 21 of Sam Kerr's 46 shots and all of them not being goals would be a 0.08% chance, or 1 in 1,250. Yet, somehow, Sam Kerr massively defied the odds and managed to not score any of those 21 chances, and that's why I love this stat. Sam Kerr wasn't just a bit unlucky when Chelsea had yet to score. She was, well, I think Emma Hayes said it best here. Had Sam Kerr scored a first goal back in November or December, I probably would not have made this video. But she didn't. And this interesting but ultimately meaningless thing that I've dubbed the curse continued. And it continued almost certainly without anyone but me noticing. Well, until now. Now you know. And with that knowledge, let's watch this goal one more time and appreciate what an absolutely long time coming it truly was.
So in 2014, the last time someone outside of those three won a trophy, as Kerr comes through and Kerr scores! Chelsea have done it in the second minute of stop.